Hey, everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking to Saksham Sharda. He is the CIO at Outgrow.co. And we're going to talk about boosting your marketing with interactive content. Outgrow's mission is very simple: no code tools to acquire qualified leads. Saksham, thanks for being on the show. I know you're calling in all the way from Prague. That's one of the things I love about this podcast. It's, I talk to people all over the world, but talk about what this means because you have some calculators that people can go right on your website and really benefit to utilize the growth of their qualified leads. But talk about it, because I think this is a new concept to a couple people.
So Outgrow is basically a website on which you go and you'd find thousands of templates to build any kind of interactive content for your business. So this can include quizzes, calculators, chatbots. You can make chatbots on our website based on templates that are already there. You can also make contests. You can make, polls and giveaways and, assessments and tests. And what this basically does is that it allows you, like a simple quiz. So say for instance, you are a lawyer. So if I go to a lawyer's website and, I see all the awards they've won, et cetera, I see the static content on the website, and it's not likely to make me, convert into a lead so fast. But on the other hand, if I went to a lawyer's website and I saw a simple quiz that says, see how much I can save you in legal fees. And then you click on the quiz, and then it asks you a couple of questions like which state you're based in, how many contracts do you need signed, all the particulars of your business. And then it shows you over time how much money you can save by employing that particular legal firm. So it's basically interactive content like this that you can easily build on Outgrow and put on your website.
That's great. I love it. So for me as a business coach, how would I utilize this service?
So, for instance, you can build a quiz or a recommendation on our website that allows people to pick the course that is most suitable for them. Because the point with being like, a business coach or like a podcast host is that you have tons of episodes out there and you have tons of courses out there to choose from, tons of ebooks you're trying to sell. And in general, the internet is full of, courses, full of all this stuff. So when someone lands on your website, what is going to differentiate it for them is that if you put a quiz or recommendation out there that asks them a couple of questions, like about their, business, about how many employees they have, or what exactly the kind of goal they're looking for. And then when they answer these questions, it will automatically take them to a recommendation of one or two courses or, 2 or 3 ebooks to pick from. So it basically makes the decision-making process much easier, and it gets rid of the customer's, choice paralysis or decision fatigue.
So let's talk about that. I think one of the things that is really difficult for people is making a decision. And I also know that people are not spending a lot of time on a website or reading, and so they need something very quick. People's attention span is very low. So kind of talk a little bit more about that, about the decision making element, and how it takes maybe the thinking out of it and really can kind of help them hyper focus of what they're looking to accomplish.
I think for this, like the easiest example to give that everyone understands is a B2C example. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can actually copy paste it into B2B as well. But the easiest example I'd give you for this decision fatigue, that not only it exists in the online world to a more exacerbated level, but it also exists in the offline world. So for instance, like if you walk into a physical mall or a store and you want to buy a pair of sunglasses, right? Usually there's a shop assistant at the shop who's, kind of has expertise on the field and is able to tell you based on your face shape, your eye color, your hairstyle, and other subjective factors like, which actors you like. He's able to recommend 2 or 3 particular sunglasses to you. So this is basically a shop assistant that is available to you. But in the online world, we've kind of forgotten about this. We just dump products and dump services on people. And there's so many of these to choose from that obviously people can't decide which one they actually want. So when you have a chatbot, like an interactive chatbot that you put on your website, or you have an interactive quiz, it actually gamifies the process. The user actually learns something more about your service every time they answer a question. And every time they answer a question, you're also collecting helpful marketing data about what your audience wants when they're visiting your website. So based on how they answer the questions, you're able to qualify leads as well. You're able to educate them. You're able to see which lead, depending on the outcome the person gets, you can decide which department to send it to. Is this a lead that needs to be followed up in detail, or is this a lead with whom you can just have an email chain of responses? So it's very easy for you to automate your basic marketing using interactive content.
Yeah. I love the idea of what you're talking about as far as gamifying things. And, can you talk a little bit more about what that means? Because I think I think some people may not understand what that means. And so I just want to help define it, because I think you're talking about just making it fun and interactive. So if you could just kind of dive into that, because I think it makes it more, I think, experiential. And I think it's worth
Mhm.
talking about it a bit more.
Yeah, the entire interactive content movement is based around the basic opposition to static content, which is like, you go to a blog and you read about things. You get an ebook and you read, and you're not really participating. There's only a one-way interaction. So in an interactive content piece, whether it's a contest or like a quiz or a calculator, uh, it's a two-way interaction. And the basic example of this, and this is something a company like BuzzFeed cracked originally in the 2000s, is that human beings love to take quizzes. Like, so it's already a game for them. It's like when you had those BuzzFeed quizzes, like, oh, which color are you? Or like, oh, which character are you from this TV show? It's already a game for everyone, and people tend to share interactive content like this more easily. And it's basically BuzzFeed that came up with this idea, and then Amazon and Nike and L'Oreal, all of these picked up this idea, and so they started having quizzes like, L'Oreal has like, oh, which product, like hair product, suits you best. So instead of like which character are you, blah blah blah, it's like which hair product suits you best. Or like in Nike's case, which of our running shoes should you get, depending on like, how you run, what your stature is, etc., etc. So basically, it's a very commercializable idea that human beings love interacting with things instead of just receiving information passively. And so
Yeah.
that is what interactive content allows you to do.
Let's talk about the investment of what this is. I always like to quantify things, right? As far as what leads costs versus what the value of a client is, or the lifetime value of a client. So somebody who comes to Outgrow, you have all of these these basically ways that they can customize, cut and paste using your technology. What's the investment?
So the plans range depending on. So basically, we serve a whole variety of businesses. So it ranges from freelancers all the way to like big enterprises. So the cheapest plan is just, as you can see, $14, and the most expensive plan is like 600. But you can get even more expensive one than that if you go into custom plans. Then you can get like an completely customizable enterprise plan depending on how big your business is. So also you can get a $0, a completely free plan if you just want to make forms or surveys. So that is completely for free. But the freelancer plan is usually better because you're able to like make some kinds of quizzes, which are usually more interesting. So this is the price range, and usually all of these you have access to like templates. So the key thing to remember is that you're not just going on to our builder, which is a no-code builder. It's easy to build, but you're not starting something from scratch. You're just picking out templates that have already been made in your industry. Like, so if you go to search by industry, you're easily able to like, pick templates that are relevant to your industry. And then you can easily just adapt them, change the color schemes, do anything that you like. So that is how you basically go about using Outgrow.
It's great. I love it. It sounds like it looks like a great service for a lot of people. When was the company started? Tell us a little bit about the business.
I was started around in 2015-ish, but before this, our founders had another company that was basically in the 2000s when there was a big app store boom. Like, everyone wanted to have the next big idea for making the next big app. So that's when our founders were providing services to people so that they could build their own apps. And then they made a calculator that started showing people, how much does it cost to build an app? Like if you hire developers in a particular country, how much is it going to cost you? Where do you want to launch your app? Based on all these factors, what is your total cost going to be? And that calculator went viral on the internet in the 2000s. So it became the go-to place on the internet for people to find out how much is it going to cost me to make an app idea of my own. And that made our founders realize that you can actually allow people to build calculators like these for themselves in order to show their expertise and their business well without having to hire coders or developers. So the no code tool Outgrow basically allows you to build all these apps, quizzes, calculators, everything that can show what your business is about in a very engaging way to your users.
Great. I love it. I love it. All right. You ready for a quick speed round?
For sure.
All right. Favorite book and why?
Favorite book is The Interpreter of Maladies. It is very deeply written.
Okay. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Friendships are great. I don't know.
Yeah. And tell everybody your ideal clients and how they can connect with you.
Our ideal clients are small and medium businesses, because what we are looking for is people who are innovative without having too many restrictions on them that are coming in. Like if you're a big enterprise, you have too many departments meddling in what you're doing. But the most amount of creativity always comes from like small and medium businesses. And so those are ideal clients, and they can get in touch with us by just emailing questions@outgrow.co and using the Think Business podcast as their referral point.
I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you taking time to be on the show. This was great. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but there was kind of a worldwide outage on on the internet. But this was great. I appreciate you taking time to share. This is great. What a great service and what a great product for people to help clients make decisions. And I love what you're talking about. The decision fatigue, I think, is so real. And stuff like this that grabs people's attention, gets them engaged, and gets them one step closer to making a decision. I think it's great. So I appreciate you coming in. Outgrow.co and Think Community. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks, man. It was great to connect with you, and appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.